So just to give you a timeline from the time that I'm recording this video, a few weeks ago I had taken the Chevy Cruze in because I was getting a low pressure warning. The car had oil in it, and it was giving me a low pressure, stop the engine immediately light. I got it to the dealership. They had it for about a week because we were going back and forth. They were giving me the price and the repair, and it was outrageous. Bottom line, I paid $1,000 for the repair. Got the car back. Supposedly they had fixed it. I turned the car on. When I went to go pick it up, everything was running. It seemed to be fine. About an hour later, exact same oil pressure warning light comes on, and I have to take it back. So I get there, drop it off, and they hold on to the car for over 3 weeks. We're going on almost a month. I think that it was getting close to a month that they had it, and that's on top of the almost 2 weeks that they had it before to fix it. So I drop it off again. They cover the repair. I will say that for them, they covered the repair. It didn't cost me a penny. Didn't cost me a penny after I paid them $1,000 to fix the problem the first time, and it was not fixed. But all right, whatever. They fixed that. So fast forward to last weekend, I picked the car up. They told me, well, no, let's rewind a little bit. I'm going backwards here. So over the time that they had it, they kept calling me to tell me this stopped working, that stopped working. They put this part on it. They would give me dates that it should have been ready for pickup, and then they would call me that day to say, hey, we put the part on, it didn't work. Because we don't have any other spare parts, we have to order more parts. So they order that, comes in, oh, hey, this one's defective too, and hey, we didn't have any more in stock, so now we gotta wait. The next thing, next time, hey, the part didn't come in, so now maybe this day, maybe that day. And it just continued like that for days and days and days until almost 4 weeks later, we finally get everything fixed. The turbocharger went out while they had it. They had to fix that. The first couple that they put on didn't work. Then they had to order gaskets for it. Then the torque converter didn't work. Then they had to buy a valve for the engine and we had to wait for that to arrive from God knows where. Granted, they're putting all of these parts on and they're all defective. I guarantee they're not specifically ordering these parts exactly for my car only. They're putting these same parts in all the other Chevys that they're servicing. They didn't have any loaners, so I had to borrow a car the entire time. Extremely inconvenient, but finally I get it back. Everything's great, right? No engine light. Awesome. Wow, great. Maybe for the first time in almost, we're going on 3 years now. This is the beginning of 3 years. So maybe for the first time I can actually drive this car confidently and think that it's not going to fall apart. But every 20 seconds, I hear a noise now. And it just did it, so I'm going to wait a second. I'm going to open up the window and just listen to it. It sounds like a vacuum cleaner starting. I'm going to open up the window and put the phone out so you can hear it. It's not doing it right now. Wait for it. That was it. It does that every 20-30 seconds or so. So once again, I've gotten the car back after paying $1,000 to fix a problem, and now I have this to worry about. Now it sounds like just the fan running because it could be running hot, but it only runs for a few seconds or so and then it turns off. Well, it doesn't turn off, it just quiets down again. So I'm guessing that my car could have a problem soon with overheating. I don't know if maybe that happened recently and they just didn't hear it. Granted, when they gave me the car back the first time, they claimed that they had test driven it. I got it, drove it for, like I said, barely an hour. I took it that day and drove it straight home. It was less than an hour. I took it straight home, hopped in my car to go run an errand later, and within a few minutes it was already making the noise. If they had test driven it for any amount of time, they would have heard that. So I had filled up my gas tank and took it back. I got it back with less than, I took it in with a full tank, came back, and it was, they had wasted a quarter tank of gas. I don't know how you wouldn't hear this noise. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So here we are. Like I said, this, and my very first video on this car was about drive time. We're past the whole drive time point. My problem with drive time was that they sold me a broken car. After that, we supposedly got it fixed. But the fact that it's just had nothing but problems since, now we're just getting into, this is Chevy's problem, that they have a poorly built, inadequate vehicle that they bought and they sold to somebody. These things cost $20,000. You have to pay for them for several years. I'm not in the percentage of people that can just go in and, you know, pay a car off in full. This is a pretty big commitment when you go in to buy one of these. You kind of expect it to be a little bit more reliable. It's not the 80s or the 90s where everything was just cheap garbage. You know, we're supposed to have made progress at this point. This car is a pile of trash. I don't know if it was built by monkeys or people that were on drugs or something. This car is woefully inadequate, and I don't recommend you buy one. Even after they covered the repairs for free, I'm still having problems, which means I'm probably gonna have to go in. They're gonna say, oh, well, this is a different problem now. Let's go ahead and charge you however much money, because that's just the way they work. Obviously, a business is trying to make money. They're gonna get the money however, any way they can, which means when you go in for repairs, they're going to stick it to you. And that's putting it, you know, in a very PC way, so I'm not cursing. Try not to curse too much, because then you guys will think that I'm the psycho. I'm not the psycho. The psychos are the people at Chevy that built this thing. So that's pretty much that's pretty much it. This is another angry Chevy rant about how I used to be a Chevy fan, but you know, I'm a big fan of the Firebird and the Camaro. Those are my favorite cars. I don't want to even touch these new Camaros now because they're built by Chevy. And pretty much it's not just Chevy, because my brother has a Ford Mustang and he's had nothing but issues with that. And he had the same problem over there where he took it in for a repair and they couldn't tell him what was wrong with him, but they're going to fleece you along and charge you thousands and thousands of dollars for each, you know, half-assed repair that they're trying to make on the car. And in the end, just be like, oh yeah, well, we don't know, sorry. And it's your problem now. So you bought a giant, expensive, you know, you can polish a turd, still going to be a turd. So they're going to sell you a turd, and then once you're out the door, they don't care. It's not their problem. They got your money already. And that's outrageous. American cars are all garbage. I think my next one, I'm just going to buy a Toyota. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm not editing this video. Again, this is another one take, just get it all out. If you've been listening in the background, I don't know if you can hear it, the sound just keeps on going. And when I roll up anywhere, people are like, what's wrong with your car? I'm like, I don't know, it's a Chevy Cruze. It's, you know, it's garbage. That's what it is. So that pretty much, you know, I'm sure this isn't the end of it until I get out of it. Right now I'm upside down in this thing, so I'm gonna have to find some way to get rid of it. But yeah, that's pretty much, you know, just yet another chapter in the worthless Chevrolet Cruze saga is what I'm going to call it.